Okay, we are here to play once more Into the Void by Rae Nedjadi, a game of wow, some major vibes. So I'm very familiar with this game, love this game, want to play it again, yay. Um, just a quick introduction of our players, and we'll get right into it. So I'm Mads, she/they pronouns. Again, love this game, want to play it again, and yeah, I'm just gonna pop it over to you, Jazzy.
Yeah, Jazy, she, her. I've played this game in like a semi-long form once with Elle. Um, I've like facilitated, run it a few times as a one shot. And I love Mass Effect and I love the vibes, so I'm super excited for this. And I'll give it over to Kevin.
Thank you. I'm Kevin, he, him. I have not played this game yet, but I'm definitely picking up big Mass Effect meets Citizen Sleeper vibes, and I'm totally here for that. So excited and stoked to play, and I love playing with you all. So that's me, and I'll pass it on to Elle.
Yeah, Elle, she, her. Also very excited to play. I have played this a couple of times, and it has been delightful every time. And yeah, happy to be here, even though I am EP.
Okay, so I'm going to start with just going over some safety, some basic safety stuff that we normally go through. Suggested safety tools in the book are green, yellow, and red. Some themes that we would like to see are under green. Yellow are things that what would we like to see less of, and red are things that we would not want to touch upon whatsoever. So very similar to, um, you know, lines and veils, basically. There's also like suggested check in with thumbs up, like how you doing, like this okay, or one hand waving, like let's kind of slow down, or if both hands are up, it's like wait, pause, and let's just like kind of pause here, and then uh, you know stop and talk about this, right? Or even like a what was taken from Manishtana, like wait, like where we would ask, like again, like wave hands and like say wait, ask a question, make some suggestions, like ask for help of like what to do next and that sort of thing. So I mean, like we could use any of those safety tools. We also have a safety tab that has lines and veils listed in there, as well as an ask first column. So marking those up to be able to check in on a regular basis, and it's like say if we've hit any points, any topics of things that need to be faded to black for veils, any lines that just shouldn't be crossed, like we won't mention it in our game whatsoever. And of course, like ask first. So if there's something that could possibly be triggering, but just kind of slow down and then like say, hey, is it okay if I mention this? Then it falls under the ask first column. And then of course like a notes section where you can clarify like where it falls underneath your specific safety concerns. Okay, so many different tools that can be used, and worst comes to worst, it's like if you forget any of them, I mean, like it's just a matter of like hit the pause button, like whatever language that you need to say, even if it makes absolutely no sense. It's like we always know to kind of just stop play and talk about it. It's fine. We've played together before, and we'll just um, again uh, treat topics together with care and make sure that everybody's comfortable playing. All right. So, yeah, that is safety. Overview. Once more into the void has a wonderful beginning. We were once the heroes of this galaxy. We stood against the tide of darkness and prevailed. Again and again. We were comrades. We were family. We loved each other with fierceness and bravery, certain that our hearts would never be broken. But our family fell apart. Our shared past is full of shame, trespasses, and secrets. We parted ways, vowing to never see each other again. And now, our greatest enemy has returned. Manipulating from the shadows, they grow stronger than ever. No one else believes the threat is real. Only the captain has a chance at defeating this enemy once and for all. The captain will have to bring the crew back together aboard what remains of a once gorgeous starship, aged from battles of long ago and years of neglect. Fixing up the ship is one thing, but can the crew go into the void once more to face the worst of odds? Can the crew trust the captain again, who left disappointment and heartbreak in their wake? Once More Into the Void is a sci-fi tabletop role-playing game about a crew facing an enemy one more time, despite the heartbreak and betrayals of the past. Play a series of mini-games and craft your unique, thrilling, and potentially tragic story together. Use these prompts in these mini-games to express your characters, reveal the past, and hope for a different future. Together you will go once more into the void and dare to be heroes again. I love how serious Maki looks. I'm sorry. It's like, okay. All right.
He's sending me the vibes.
He's sending me the vibes. Are you kidding? Holy crap. Okay. All right. So, I'm just following flow of play that's listed in the handout that I popped into this chat that I pinned. With this, it's the point where we choose character and play, but I just want to make sure you guys know I've already picked extended since we're playing 4 sessions of this. So this particular session, we're just going to go over like the setup, and we're going to go through like picking characters, like describing the enemy, and then like hopefully we'll get to the recruitment montage where whomever is the captain, because we need a captain, will like recruit each of us in turn, and then we will like get to maybe the maybe the training montage is like the first vignette, the first mini game that we do. But we'll get as far as we get, okay? But at the very least, it's like recruitment once we have our characters. So extended sessions. You should have the playing cards room open just to take a look at it. So what I did was playing cards room. It has 2 decks that we can pull from. So either deck is fine. The cards are what we will be pulling from at the end of each minigame to determine loyalty. And what happens is at the end of each minigame, it's like the cards drawn will determine whether we as characters will regain loyalty in each other, okay? Or whether the enemy becomes stronger. And as the enemy or we collect cards, then at the very end when we play the last mini game, Once More Into the Void, we'll see the outcome of the final challenge, the final battle. So it'll be hectic. So yeah, we'll just have to keep playing and then see how far we get. Oh my gosh. All right. So back to the character keeper. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and pick some characters. So, crew. All right. So, of course, again, we need captain because the captain's got to recruit the rest of us. We have the veteran, we have the reformed, we have the believer, the broken, the strange, the bound, and the steadfast. I'm just going to quickly read the top of each page as it appears in the handout. So, play the captain if you want the pressure and prestige that comes with it, and are ready to play out a story of the long journey of making amends and healing your damaged legacy. Captain appears a lot, so expect some pressure, but that's because it's like the captain collects a lot of cards to hopefully like mitigate the threat of the enemy at the end. The veteran. Play the veteran if you want the sadness and joy that comes with it, and you are ready to play out a story of the long journey of giving yourself another chance and healing your damaged relationships. The reformed. Play the reformed if you want the mystery and prejudice that comes with it, and you are ready to play out a story of the long journey of killing your past and healing your justified anger. Play the believer if you want the faith and tension that comes with it, and you are ready to play out a story of the long journey of building your own identity and healing your desire to be saved. Play the broken if you want the pain and desperation that comes with it, and you are ready to play out a story of the long journey of facing your trauma and healing your self-hatred and disappointment. Play the strange if you want the creativity and miracles that comes with it, and you are ready to play out a story of the long journey of defining what it means to be human and healing your self-doubt. Play the bound if you want the challenge and doubt that comes with it, and you are ready to play out a story of the long journey of rediscovering your faith and healing the fear you have of yourself. And finally, the steadfast. Play the steadfast if you want the resentment and love that comes with it, and you are ready to play out a story of the long journey of finding your own path and healing your desire to prove your worth. So, with that, what do people want to play? I have played the captain and I have played the veteran. If nobody else wants, since I'm facilitating, if nobody else wants to play the captain, I can play the captain again. I have no problems doing that. So I'll pick last. It's fine.
I think in a rare time that I'm actually decisive, I'd like to play the strange.
Yee! Awesome. Okay. Go ahead and plop your name into the player for the strange. That's cool.
Was there one that caught your eye, Kevin?
The one that really quickly caught my eye was the Reformed, but I saw a few other people also really looking at that one.
It's up to you. I mean, like, if it calls to you, like, go ahead and play it.
Um, yeah, I'm looking at some of the other options. Um, I I'm maybe not familiar enough with the game to confidently like go for the captain in this. Because it seems like I'm the newest player here. Um, but since Mads, you've already played the captain before, um, if that's what it comes down to, I wouldn't mind taking the role, let you play something else as well.
I mean, like, again, it's like whatever calls to you, because I mean, you just have to feel comfortable playing. Like, I want you to want to play your character.
Sure.
Yeah, it's really not not really any harder than as Elle says. Yeah, you just be in a lot of scenes. Like you'd be in the spotlight a lot as the captain for sure.
Yeah, mostly at the start. I feel like the first session, because you do the recruitment, and then
Hmm.
afterwards, it kind of depends on what games. There's like a few times when the captain gets like a little bit of extra spotlight, but it's mostly. Oh, and we're doing extended, so I guess like the loyalty missions too. Yeah,
Yeah, but also
yeah,
too,
I
I mean,
guess
like,
an
I will
extended.
say
Yeah.
that, yeah, because especially with extended, I will say that, and what I found when I did the extended with the with another person playing the captain was that it does help, because with the captain being in the scenes, since they have to take extra cards anyway to go against the enemy, it kind of makes sense that they are in more scenes. So it kind of
Hmm.
works out. The game does balance it out for that reason. So yeah. So if you want to play the captain, cool. I mean, but if you want to play something else, then do what looks great to you. So
What about you, Jazzy? Anything coming to you?
I was looking at the broken or the steadfast. I think if you're gonna do the reform, then I'll do the steadfast because I feel like the broken leans like a little bit on the same teams as the reformed, where they're like more, um, like how should I say it? Like a bit more aggressive in their hatred towards the captain.
oh, they are so
Then
aggressive.
Yeah, I feel like the Reformed and the Broken are sort of like the most anti-captain. I mean, like you can of course play it however you want, right? But like sort of
Mhm.
from the start. So then it might be interesting if we kind of balance that out with a Steadfast, who's like extremely loyal to the captain. Um, yeah, I think I've played the Believer, so I'm not looking at that one again. And I've also played the captain quite a few times. So, and if you don't take the reformed, I take the reformed maybe.
Go ahead, go take the Reformed. Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
What other I mean, again, what other playbooks look good to you? I mean, like, it's whatever you choose.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Are there any other playbooks that you're looking at, Mads, other than the captain?
Actually, I'm gonna change my thing because I will play the Steadfast because I think it might be best given the real life circumstances of me playing this at like 3 a.m. in an apartment that maybe I play a character that's like not gonna be in fights the whole time.
It's probably realistic,
Because
yeah.
I should probably not be yelling and swearing at 3 a.m. in an apartment.
So valid. Yes, exactly so. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, so I'll play the Steadfast and I'll get in quiet arguments with everyone.
That's fine.
Cool.
That's
I'll
fine.
then I'll go ahead and take the reform because that's the one that reached out to me screaming and begging and beckoning.
Perfect. Oh, well, there you go then. So long as it's screaming and beckoning to you, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And do you have like does everybody have the handouts like, handy because that's where you're picking the your playbook has the listing of the qualities, it has the aspects of your look. Okay, fine. If you have the book in front of you, fantastic. I'm just making it easy for folks, okay? Yes. It's pretty. It's a very
Cost
pretty
me
book.
so much money, so I have to show it
Sure.
off.
No, it's great. Like yeah, like
This had to
like
go to
show the book.
Belgium.
Show
The
the book. It's
shipping was
great.
insane.
I can't even imagine. Oh my God. But anyway, so again, look at your playbook in the handouts or the book, whatever you have, and then you'll be able to see the qualities. You're going to pick two qualities and two aspects of your look. And then when you are done picking those things out, then you're going to, as the directions say, ask the person on your da-da to choose the last quality and the person on your da-da to choose the last aspect. Okay, so whatever it follows. So for me, okay, for instance, person on my left to choose. So for Jazy, you're going to pick my third quality, and then I'm going to ask Kevin to pick my third aspect, my third look. Yeah. So anyway, but let's pick out our qualities and looks first. Okay, from according to our playbooks. Okie doke. All right. So, does everybody have what they uh for their qualities and look? Yeah, like the two. Okay. We'll pick qualities first. So I will ask Jazy to pick my third quality, and then Kevin will ask me to pick third quality, and so on and so forth. So anybody on the left would choose the third quality. Okay. So, uh, Jazy, please pick out the third quality for. Oh, wait, did I completely mess my thing up? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I think I messed up. I messed up. My apologies. This is why like it looked weird to me. So I think I was on the wrong page. Hold on. Okay. Ah, okay. It did look weird to me. Okay. I was looking at the reformed. My apologies. So, hold on. It's actually haunted because I'm always fucking haunted. I'm a dope. Um, and haunted and insightful. There you go. Sorry. You still want to put demanding on for me?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's still different enough that it's fun.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty. So for the reformed, I will give you your third um, quality. What are your two qualities that you picked?
Yearning and enigmatic.
Nice. I think for your third quality, given that, beautiful.
Alrighty. Yearning, enigmatic, and beautiful. Going over to Max and the Strange. You've got lab grown and doppelganger.
Mhm.
Let's go with terrifying.
Why did I know that you were going to pick that? I
It
like
was
it.
like the third on my list.
Something in my brain was like, Kevin's gonna pick terrifying. But
Yeah, well,
I dig it. Yeah,
Correct choice.
thank you.
that means it's correct, right?
All right. So our steadfast is soft and heartbroken already. And I will add to that. I know which one I want to add. It's probably the one that you that you can guess. But let me think. Uh, soft heart- Are you okay with being seductive, Jazzy?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic.
What a surprise.
I know, shock of the century.
Never saw it coming. I was actually thinking of picking that like initially. It's like, I'm gonna get it. Someone's gonna give it to me.
Actually, I'm gonna, if I could, I'd like to change mine for you. I'll go with mesmerizing instead. That was my first choice.
Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, cool.
Cool.
This is a very, very interesting crew. Okay. All right. So let's start with the steadfast this time. So you would ask the person on your right, I guess that would be me, to choose a third aspect of your look. Okay, I gotta find your page now.
The aspects that I already have are layers of fabric concealing a collection of weapons
Mm.
and evidence of my devotion to the captain. What that evidence is, I think we can figure out during play.
Oh, sure.
I don't have like a strong. I was thinking like some kind, like my mind immediately went to like an artificial limb, because I lost mine trying to save you or something. But I
Yeah.
feel like it
I,
could be something else.
you don't have to stick with that if you don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever we feel like when we start playing, like, oh, that actually makes sense. But yeah, those are the two that I already have. So
These are also good too. I'm just like, how bloodthirsty are you?
you tell me.
Well, that's a good question because it would depend on how like I'm thinking.
I
Hmm.
think it would be add an interesting dynamic. But yeah, whichever one you think is interesting.
You know what? I think you have a weapon that the captain gave you with love. Strange. You would have. Elle, you would have Jazy give you your third.
Sure. So I have the signature of my maker, and again, it will define that imply. I don't know what form that takes yet. And an eerie expression.
I think there is also evidence of my disconnection from this reality, whatever that ends up looking like.
Yeah, we'll find out. Okay, so I do a reformed, right?
Mhm.
Shining jewelry, a musical voice. And let's see. I'm sort of interested in finding out what this means or like what this is. So I'll give you a weapon that doesn't work as intended.
Fantastic. I'm curious what that means too.
Amazing.
Pop that in. And for our captain,
Yes.
you've got tattoos that tell a story, charming smile that hides what you're really thinking, and if I saw correctly on there, I'm gonna say you have a soothing tone.
Okay. least hopefully it is. We'll see. Oh man. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that is our characters. We are playing extended speed. All right, so now we go to page 4 of the handout as we create our enemy. Heroes are only as strong as the enemy they face. The promise of tragedy only made real by what's at stake. In a quick game, make choices beforehand and present it to the players. In an extended game, take your time and answer the character questions on page 29. So we're going to start with these questions here, and then we're going to go over as we've picked our characters, and then we can extend those the questions accordingly. Okay. So with the enemy, who is our enemy? We can choose one of those things there, or we can create our own. So what do we think the enemy is comprised of? A horde of AI and machines that consume and leave empty, a vanished people who return bearing weapons of destruction, the undead repurposed to contain the horror of space, remnants of a people ravaged by time and cruelty, clones that have learned to shapeshift and assume memories, former comrades who now embody the void, or a mimetic virus spreading and enslaving through music. Or create our own. What do we think? What sounds interesting? And mind you, this would be an enemy that we have faced already and has come back. So, what do we think?
Sort of like elimination process, but I'm personally like not that interested in the AI one or
Sure.
the virus one. Like
Sure.
those don't really speak to me that much.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm probably not as interested in the clones
Okay.
either.
Alrighty.
I think the banished people could be very interesting if we want to play with like you know, sort of ancient ruins in space and what we might find there and what, you know, like a little bit of an exploration bit to it. I think that could be very interesting. Also, always happy to fuck around with undead. Um,
I mean, like, it could also be one of those situations of, like, we had discovered them, or, somebody had discovered them, like, the last time we tackled them, and that's why now we're back at the fucking war, I mean, that could be also half the problem. Turn bearing weapons of destruction.
yeah, I feel like it's a very like like a space horror convention where we have maybe been building on the like the technology that nobody really understands. Like how in Mass Effect you just like have them as relays and they don't really know what those are at first, but we've like been building on those, and then maybe like, oh shit, I guess someone built them.
Yep. Sure. Okay. And we can figure out how these relays, or the weapons that we start building upon, like, really start getting stronger and fucking everything up, and then now we have to go back
Yeah, or
into
like
battle.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not even like using anything from them, but it's just there and we've never like figured it out.
Yeah, they're getting stronger, which is why we have to go back. Okay, what does the enemy want? Claim what is owed to them, continue a cycle of violence and harvest across millennia, make us pay for what we did, to rebuild a broken galaxy, reset a broken timeline, or make the galaxy a peaceful place for eternity. Yay. What do we think?
Resetting a broken timeline could be interesting.
That's always fun.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I mean, I'm curious. I mean, like, we could always play to find this out, but do they blame us for the broken timeline, or it's like they consider the whole thing a broken timeline, so they're just like, just come back now to wipe the slate clean? What do we think?
I feel like it could be a little bit of both. You know, like
We messed it up.
yeah, like it was already like maybe something was already happening and then because we already fought them before, right? And then maybe
Yeah.
whatever we did in the previous fight, that was to them like the thing that really that needs to be fixed, maybe. Or that like in part needs to be fixed.
They were already trying to resolve it, and we messed it up further. Sounds good. Okay. What's at stake if we fail? An all-out galactic war, precious resources will disappear forever, an ancient enemy will resurface, essential technology will become corrupted, history and memories will be rewritten, that's always fun, an apocalypse beyond our comprehension, or our bodies and minds will be bound in servitude.
I mean, the easy one, it feels like when you have time shenanigans, is history and memories will be rewritten. But I feel like something more bold, like an apocalypse beyond our comprehension, would
Yeah.
be.
I mean, yeah, like maybe our timeline would just be broken or like sacrificed for it, right? And like
Yeah.
maybe it's those timelines cannot be at the same time or something, like time paradox wise, whatever.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like that goes hand in hand with
Sure.
the time shenanigans, right?
Mhm.
Timeline. Our timeline is destroyed. Pardon. It's destroyed. Okay. Cool. Fun. All right, great. So, with extended play, character questions on page 29 are answered before the recruitment montage. So, we can consider these and answer them like with a straight narration, or if we want a little time to think about it, we can take a 5-minute break before we come back and answer these questions. So let's just take a look at them and see what we have to answer considering our crew. So, Captain, you once had a heroic reputation. How did the enemy secretly help you gain it? Shit. The Reformed, you were once the enemy. What terrible secret did you reveal when you betrayed your people? The Strange, what about your origins or strangeness is tied to the enemy? And the Steadfast, what do you know about the enemy that you can never tell the captain? So, think you want to try to answer this now, or do you guys need like 5 minutes, which is perfectly fine?
I could use 5 minutes to think
Absolutely.
about it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take 5 minutes to consider, refresh beverages, go bio break, and all that kind of fun stuff. All right, so we'll see you guys back in 5.
See you in 5.
Okay, so again, I'm apologizing to the recording because I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So I'm going to read off the blurb for the captain, and then that's going to help inform how I answer the captain's character question about the enemy. Our history with the enemy is complex. Okay, so you tried leaving the stars behind, the void, all of it. After the dangers you faced and the sacrifices you've made, your adventures left you with a broken heart. Betrayed by your beliefs, you've spent years nursing your regret. But the void calls you again, and all the worlds need saving. If you don't act now, we could lose it all. You can't do it alone. You need to convince your crew to come together one last time. They have every right to hate you, and no reason to trust you. You weren't there for them when they needed you most. But they can't help but believe in you even after all that you did. Will you prove that they were right to trust you again, or will they die cursing your name? And I think for my Captain Tal Kai, him, the question is, you once had a heroic reputation. How did the enemy secretly help you gain it? I think they wanted someone like Tal Kai to center on for their own purposes because the timeline was already broken to them and they wanted to come in and fix it. So, part of their way of doing that was to create a prophecy as part of their propaganda, and they made it so Tal Kai's aspect or description was part of this fake prophecy that they were touting around, saying this person was going to be their, if not doom, then be integral their uh, to their downfall. And it all depends on if you believe the hype. And unfortunately, I think the captain started to believe it and brought a sticky end to the first battle because of it. And didn't understand until afterwards when he discovered the truth that he was just part of their grand plan all along. And at, that took some getting over, to say the least. And that is the captain.
It's moving in character keeper order.
Yes, please.
Sure. So Harmony, she, her, reformed. You tried leaving behind the past, the shame, all of it. You betrayed your people and all that you stood for a captain who didn't stay when you asked them to. To survive, you ran and spent years looking over your shoulder. But the captain called upon you once more, and this is your chance to live up to what they saw in you. You're more than where you came from and what you look like. You can save all the worlds, but the rest of the team sees only an enemy. Despite the captain's faith, they only see the doom that waits. But they still need you for your sharp mind and unique talents. Will you prove they were right to give you a chance, or will they die because of your inevitable betrayal? And the question that I was posed to give was, you were once the enemy. What terrible secret did you reveal when you betrayed your people? And I think the secret that Melody, or Harmony actually, I'm going to get that wrong a few times. The secret that she betrayed is that the people who were fighting for this alternate timeline were kidnapping and replacing people from our timeline with counterparts, not clones, but their alt timeline versions where those would suffice. Um, and there were a few people either like high up in a chain of command, leaders of worlds or organizations, that Harmony had intel on them being replacements. And I think some of those decisions were painful to carry out. People who had trusted relationships. And to this day, I'm not sure people are fully convinced that all of that intel was accurate. That when the alternates were rooted out, can you be really sure that these people who said they loved you and would never betray you were in fact from an alternate timeline and had been replaced? But Harmony had the insider information.
I suppose Max is next. You've tried. Sorry, one second. Frog in my throat. Sorry about that. You've tried leaving behind the people the friendships, all of it. The captain tried to convince you that you were as real as the rest, but you knew you were too different, too other to ever be at home here. But the captain called upon you once more, and this is your chance to prove that you are a real person, that you can save all the worlds, that you are more than the weird and strange. Your captain still sees you as family, a hero in the making even, but the rest of the crew can't ever be the home you need. But you want to be what the captain sees. You want to be just as real as the rest. Will you prove that you feel and need as much as the others, or will you prove that you are too alien to be trusted? And the question for the strange is what about your origins or strangeness is tied to the enemy? So, I think that our enemy, this vanished and returned people, had once also made great strides in genetics, and the manipulation thereof. It's sounding like they were an extremely scientifically advanced sort of people. Um, and they used their knowledge to create products like Max, which stands for Medical Assistance Extension. I think he came with the captain's old ship, and he's sort of an artificially grown person who's both like a ship doctor and an organ farm all in one, with an incredibly advanced like healing factor. Um, a person, but only kind of a person without a history, which is a very strange kind of person indeed. Uh, but yeah, he was created by the enemy, and I'm imagining that there used to be a time when maxes were commonplace, but they aren't so much now after uh, the vanishing and everything that's transpired. So I'm kind of a piece of obsolete technology.
I'll be playing the Steadfast, Mori, she/they. You've tried leaving behind the regret, the blame, all of it. You were the only one the captain didn't leave behind. You've stayed by their side all these years and kept them safe from harm and retribution. You did what no one else was strong enough to do. But the captain believes they need the rest of the crew, and this is your chance to prove them wrong. The captain only needs you to save all the worlds, and your love and valor will be more than enough. But the captain knows how much you've missed this crew, this family, and you cannot escape the warm memories and quiet heartbreak. But the crew will have to prove themselves worthy of the captain. Will you pull this family together again and bring out the best in each other's? Or will the captain's foolishness cost the both of you everything? And my question is, what do you know about the enemy that you can never tell the captain? What I know about the enemy is that one of their leaders, through broken timeline shenanigans, is actually my son. And I will never tell you that because then you might question where my loyalty lies. You can question everything about me, but not that.
Damn. Okay. Amazing. Okay. Fantastic. All right. And that is our enemy. And yeah, our characters so far. Alrighty. So, given that, and I started putting in stuff into the character keeper. So, I mean, I totally forgot to put it into the enemy tab for the answers to the questions. I'll probably go back and put it in. But if anybody wants to start putting these things in, like, please feel free. So this way, it's like a memory reminder for future play. And then for mini games and such, I like to put in like which mini game we've played, like kind of like either an ending or a summary, like how it did and like, what characters were involved. What this game encourages is that each character, each person, player, picks like 3 mini games each to play. But I mean, considering this is not extended play, I mean, like, we probably won't have time to do that exactly. But we'll try to get through as many mini games as we possibly can before we do the last one, which is Once More Into the Void, because we're trying to collect as many cards as possible to mitigate the enemy at the end. Um, so let's see, what could we play first? Usually, well, I mean, it's got to be the recruitment montage, obviously. So I got to recruit everybody first. All right, so the first part of this is now the recruitment montage. So now I'm going to recruit everybody as the captain. All right, so recruiting the reformed. Is it time to finally stop running? This recruitment montage introduces the reformed into the story and explores what motivates them to return to the crew. Once everyone has had their recruitment montage, begin playing the minigames. Okay, so this takes place while the reformed is being hunted. Both the captain and the reformed briefly describe the nature of the chase, a sentence or two each. So I ask you, who are you running away from? How do I help you find reprieve? And then you ask me, yeah. So, yeah, who are you running away from, and how do I help you find reprieve?
I see like a sort of noir type world, sepia tone sunset kind of deal, tall ebony spires, and I think Harmony is running away from like I feel like, yeah, just like noir gang bosses, or a noir style gang, leg breakers, that sort of deal. Yeah, just sci-fi neo-noir thugs. And uh I've managed to duck away into a neo-noir, like a big sci-fi neo-noir lounge, very Daft Punk, very Tron-esque. And uh maybe it's a place I've haunted before, but I think how you grant me reprieve, or help you find me help uh how you help me find reprieve, is good old fashioned shootout, uh and
So,
yeah.
yeah, okay. Um, all right, so you ask me.
How have my years of running haunted me, and how am I still beautiful?
Hmm. I think it's your lack of rest, your sunken eyes, your lack of sleep, your sense of danger, just always looking, checking for a way out, a way of escape, always. And yet you are still beautiful because it makes you more of yourself. There's an edge to you where the shadows under your eyes and your cheeks just give you, I guess it appeals to my haunted self. It's like, you're a ghost of your former glory that I remember, I guess.
Ghost. That's interesting.
At least that's how you appear to me when I find you. So, conducting the hunt. Captain chooses what happens first, and then you choose what happens then, and then you choose what happens next, and then I choose what happens last. So 2 moments, okay? So, like, we go to the next page, page 11, and then um, yeah, we go back and forth and, like, pick two of those moments. Yep. So I pick a moment, and then you pick one of those things, and then you pick a moment, and I pick one of those prompts.
Oh, I see. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Okay, so I'll go first. So let's see. Um, yeah, let's do the scene like you're saying that you duck into the lounge. So the shootout, you propose a shootout, but like the shootout hasn't quite happened yet, and I shadow you, like I spot you, and I duck into the lounge and I accost you, even as you're trying to hide or you're trying to get uh, reprieve in this lounge, and I call out to you, Harmony. You see me in the shadows. I am this tall person with like a shock of white hair and a braid. Um, Probably like stubbled still or whatever. I mean, like I haven't shaven in weeks, and like you see my eyes, like kind of glowing in the darkness, and I'm still wearing my sleeveless duster, and you can sort of see like my tattoos on my arms that you remember from before, and um, yeah, I'm like I have my hands in like deep in my pockets, but I'm just that's all you hear is like me saying your name from the darkness.
Captain?
On the run still.
Still, I'm so tired. What are you doing here?
Coming to get you. I need you again.
No. If it's not one thing chasing me, it's another. It's always the past with you. Of course, if we can just get off this world, I'll do whatever you say. I'll do whatever you want. I just,
It'll be it'll be all right. And he's using his soothing voice to tell you that it will be all right. Even
mm,
as our hunters have found us again and they crash through violently, and now you would pick one of those things.
hunters have found us again. They crashed through violently, and we fight them off together. And I hide my wounds from you. And yeah, it's just like old times. There's a reason that my character is called Harmony, uh, and that's because she doesn't work well alone. Never has worked well alone. Um, and but the wounds that I hide, um,
They come the shots from the hunters, or do they come from the act of getting away?
oh, I think they're older wounds than that.
Oh,
I
sure.
think I've been running for a while. I
Right,
think
right.
there's and God knows I don't want to ever demonstrate or show that I need another person, which is why I hide them. Um, and so yeah, I think they're old scars, or well, old is in between the time of the last mission and now. Um, but actually, check our um we have an ask first on suicide, so I'm gonna touch self-harm a little bit and say that the wounds that she's hiding are self-inflicted, if that's not cool. Just somebody type an X in chat. But the wounds that she hides are that she's been struggling to get by on her own. And so what we see is uh, she just pulls down her sleeves over her arms.
And I think he is too engrossed in just making sure that he puts himself, he interposes himself, like, to make sure that, you're herded ahead of him, to make sure that, he's shooting at them, or like, throwing the laser daggers or whatever the hell he's got like on him, to make sure that you know you both can get away, or you know throw obstacles in their way to make sure that they're not able to follow as easily. So I mean, I don't think he notices that particular part, um, you know, as you're trying to get away. And yeah, you fell some of them too. I mean, so I mean, he remembers what it's like to fight uh, um, with you as well. So it's almost like falling into old habits again.
Yeah.
So he knows he can trust you to watch his back as well. So
Yeah, it's like a song that you never fully forget. And
no,
if you hear it, years later, you still remember the tune.
absolutely. So now you would pick a moment, and then I would pick the response.
Yeah. Let's go full pulp with this. I
Okay.
think we must pretend we're something we're not to throw them off the trail.
Okay. mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Oh damn. You made good choices. The chat. Oh, do I go whole hog, or do the usual thing? Shit. Oh, I'll do the noir thing. Yes. Okay, fine. I'll do that. Yeah, so I pull you into my arms, pretending to be your lover again is all I ever wanted. Absolutely. I mean, that is the thing. I mean, he did say it's like, I need you again. Okay. So, yeah. I think that's what it is. Um because I think it is one of those things where we were probably in that particular district. Hold on. Let me check the safety. That's okay. Yeah, maybe if it's okay. It's like, maybe we're in that particular, like, red light district or something like that. And so it kind of makes sense that we have to do it that way, just to, blend in, maybe. I mean, not explicitly, but I mean, like, just to kind of like be in a particular embrace, to, yeah, to be that way. And then, like, maybe he whispers, like, pretending to kiss you or whatever, but he does whisper. It's like, we have to get back to the ship. The only way to do that is to, well, blend in for as long as we possibly can.
Of course. Uh, you take the lead. I'll follow.
You have to admit, this isn't too terrible.
If you're asking me to admit that I'm having fun, that might be too much right now.
true. Even as he whispers against your forehead. Um, and you know, before he, makes as if he's going to pull you into the darkness for something more intimate, but really to kind of pull you into the darkness to, to bring you, you know, to escape to the ship. He kind of tightens his embrace, like his hug a little bit more, and just kind of says, "It is fun while it lasts."
I think she grabs on and like squeezes tightly. And as like the bad guys, the mooks, the enemy mercs come running by, uh she just responds with a whisper, make me believe it, or they'll
And
kill us.
and this is where he will pretty much. It's like as he draws Harmony into the darkness, it's like we see the line of the angle, and then the light kind of like slices like it in diagonal, and it's like drawing her back, and like he's leaning in, and then you just kind of like see the line of his face is like his lips like like really brush against hers, and it's like and it just like presses in, and then like just like goes for it as it fades to black, and then it's like just again it's like then they duck into the darkness, and then you see their two figures like running towards the ship. Yeah. So and that is the scene. um Ending the hunt. Captain asks the reformed, what will make you betray me?
Man, that is a good question. What would make me betray you? For now, let's say this: being left too long in silence. And then I'm supposed to ask, what makes you trust me anyway?
Because there's something about you that understands me. And that's why I trust you. Yeah, I think that would be his answer. Okay, so you recruited. We both go to the playingcards.io and we draw a card. Either deck, it doesn't matter. And we even go face up on it. Um, yeah. All right. Ah, if it's
Max, can
black,
you
yeah.
repeat your answer to the question because I'm trying to put it in the notes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think he basically says that there's something about Harmony that understands him, and that's why he will always trust her. Yep. Okay. So we both drew black cards, and what that means is loyalty is regained. The crew member keeps the card in their hand, and they describe why they want to believe in the other. Okay. So I drew. Oh, and shit. Um, if you see the little person icon next to your player number, that's you. And you can always change your number to a name. So I'm going to change mine to my name. So when I go back into it again, then I will always know that I'm always that person. Okay. All right. So since I have the lower number, I'll go first. So why I want to believe in Harmony. Again, she betrayed her people. for us. And so she's willing to come back again. And we did. It was like falling into an old dance, an old habit, but it was a beautiful habit of fighting together again, alongside each other again. And I want to believe that this is going to work. Bringing Harmony back onto the crew, onto the team, means that we'll have another chance of success. Knowing her people, having her back on the crew and her skills, I want to believe this is going to work.
Harmony was in a dark place, and I don't think she's exactly faithful, but she'd been praying and hoping for anything that resembled a ray of sunshine, and here's the captain right when she needed him. And so I think she wants to give this a chance.
Okay.
Because the alternative is far worse.
Exactly. Damn. Okay. All right. And that is the Reformed. Next is the Strange. Okay. Oh, scraping the bottom of the barrel, are we? What? This recruitment montage introduces the Strange into the story and explores what motivates them to return to the crew. This takes place in the laboratory that is the Strange's home. Both the captain and the Strange briefly describe the laboratory, a sentence or two each. Do you want to start us off, Elle? Because what kind of
Sure.
laboratory is this?
Yeah, I'm imagining that this is actually like an old kind of repair center for uh Max and others like him. That was abandoned when the do we have a name for these people? It might be nice to have one actually.
Hmm. I wanted to say augments.
Do you mean like the timeline people or
I mean the timeline people, yeah.
hmm.
Yeah.
But I kind of
Yeah.
like augment for the type of person that Max is, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I liked
Um,
augments.
I mean, progenitors comes to mind, but I
Ooh,
don't think
that's
I'm not sure if that's
damn.
like quite it.
I mean, they could call themselves that. You know what I'm saying? It's like that sounds sick.
Because that means like something like ancestor precurses, right? So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
feels like they're making themselves like we were the source.
We were the
Um,
source. This is our timeline. You fucked it up. We're taking it back. That's what it feels like to me, you know?
I'm cool
So,
with progenitors.
yeah, I like it. Okay.
Cool. So this is a
Yeah.
lab built by the progenitors that was abandoned when they vanished. I'm imagining it kind of looks like a futuristic hospital, like all white walls and stainless steel.
Yeah. But I think one of the other things that's odd about it is like there's also like etchings of the the pardon symbolic either language or not language. What am I trying to say? Um, like runes. I don't know what else. What else it would be? Like, yeah, just something to indicate. It's like this is their territory. This is their knowledge. That kind of thing. But you know, obscure to anyone that is not familiar with them. Or conversant in their ways. So, okay. What state do I find you that reminds me how different you are? What important work are you doing?
I think that I've recently been injured somehow, um, pretty severely. So when you come in, I am on one of these stainless steel slabs with like the type of surgical robot arm um working on me, and I'm like actively programming it, telling it what to do. Um but like my torso is just open and we can see like the clearly organic organs in there that are sort of built over a robotic skeleton. And I'm just, working on myself as though I can't feel a thing.
Max. He just has a look of, like, you can see everything that's going on with you reflected in his eyes. Awe, wonder, everything that you can just.
Max immediately turns toward the captain's voice, and it's like no latency, like instant reaction time. And we see his facial expression go immediately from one of like intense concentration to surprise and elation. Captain?
Yes. It's good to see you, Max. I would ask you how you've been, but now I can see it's not well? Or is this merely improvement? What has happened?
Well, you know that some people still don't. Um, they're scared of me, I think. So sometimes, well, incidents happen, but I'm fine. Just a little bit more work and a couple of hours of rest, and I'll be a-okay again.
Well, they are foolish. They don't value you.
Oh, Captain, I'm just a piece of machinery.
No, you are not. You are something more. You're more than the sum of your parts. If you are merely machinery, you are something, someone that is alive and vibrant, and it's so good to see you. I'm sorry, I was just a little disturbed to see you like this.
Oh, yes, I know how you are about blood. Um, if you look away for a moment, I can close myself up.
I, I, I apologize for being so squeamish, my friend.
I think when the captain, or if and when the captain turns, we'll see that Max's face for a moment looks confused. Um, there's a sort of sadness there. I think it's not the first time that the captain has said those things about him being more than the sum of his parts and, a real and valuable person. Um, but that's not something Max can believe, and it just saddens him that the captain is so deluded in that way.
Hmm.
But I will ask my question of you. Why are you so relieved to see me, and how have I not changed at all?
To see that you're still alive. I mean, one would worry that you would either not be functioning or rotting somewhere, like not being utilized, or I guess he was thinking the worst. That maybe perhaps you would have fallen prey to these factions that didn't want you to exist. And I guess, I mean, even though he was kind of shocked to see you in that particular condition, he wasn't actually surprised to see you working on yourself with such concentration and curiosity. Like to see you again, just like, all right, just another day, just kind of like, maintaining. I mean, aside from like repairing, of course, but I mean, this is something that you do. I mean, like, what else should happen? So, all right. So, I choose what happens first, then you choose what happens from the choices,
Mhm.
and then you would choose the next moment, and then I would make that choice. All right. So, oh, do we get really weird with this? Sure. Why
I think the
not?
answer is always yes.
Yes. A mysterious entity tracks us down and demands you come home.
That's interesting. I think one of us overreacts, killing the entity and leaving questions unanswered. Do you have a thought about what the entity is? Because I sort of do.
No, because I mean, like, this would not be something that the captain would have suspected or even expected. What's your idea?
Um, I think it's a progenitor from another timeline
Yes.
that sort of comes through this like temporal rift that perhaps is like created by a piece of machinery in the
Mm-hmm.
laboratory that like gets activated somehow. And it wants Max to come with it to rejoin his makers
Absolutely.
and help with their plans.
Who do you think overreacts?
I'm kind of wondering if it's the captain.
I mean, you're the one choosing, so if you want it to be me, I can totally do that.
Yeah, let's say it's the captain.
Perfect. And I think, yeah, I mean, I think perhaps maybe Talkai will say no, and then like from out of the duster, like a wonderful little laser katana or something like that that just kind of whips out and just and cuts the progenitor down.
I think Max looks more startled at the captain's reaction than the appearance of the progenitor.
And he looks up from the slain progenitor's body and looks back at you and says, "No, our enemy's back, and regardless of timeline, we need to preserve our timeline, which means I need you back on crew to help us, to help me stop them, just like I stopped this one from taking you.
You need me.
I need you. Yes. Will you come with me, Max?
Well, someone needs to be there to patch you up when you get injured, or to give you an extra kidney if you need one. So, yes, I think I will.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And you would pick one?
Yeah, I'm looking at them now. I think I have to choose though. We find we accidentally touch coming in much too close to each other.
Sure. Of course.
I think as Max is saying that about the patching up and the kidneys, um, he's approached the captain and kind of touches the captain's torso when he says that. And it's not that it's an accidental touch, like Max absolutely means to do this, but when it happens, it feels more intimate than he intended.
And the captain looks down at your touch and then looks up at you. Is this... Is this something new for you, Max? As he will reach out and perhaps touch your arm that is touching his chest.
Max looks down at the touch and then back up into the captain's eyes. He has very gentle eyes that are sort of calming when you look into them. An augment to his bedside manner, perhaps. And you'll feel the touch on your torso sort of linger and then um, become more focused, like he's feeling for something. And he says, deflecting, not answering the question, Captain, you have a new scar.
New wound. It'll be fine.
I can fix you.
Not every scar, not every wound needs to be fixed. And I think as each word that he says is punctuated by him getting an inch closer.
Max looks very serious. Captain, please. It's what I was made for.
I understand your desire to fulfill your function, Max. But sometimes you need to discern the degree in which it needs to happen. Fulfilling each little fix could possibly take away from something larger, bigger, that needs to be repaired. Do you understand that?
There's nothing bigger than you. Captain. You're my only friend. Well, should we
Yep.
go to the ship?
He drops his eyes and he says, "Yes, we shall go to the ship. How do I give you fragile hope?"
I think that I have been purposeless for far too long, with only myself to break and break and heal again. Having someone with such deep wounds as the captain around, well, it gives me something meaningful to do. What makes you doubt me?
I think this, again, this continual need to fix could be almost obsessive. And then again, it's like, what happens when you're not able to, or you're not placed in a position to be able to? What then? Could be problematic. Who knows?
No, I don't foresee any problems.
I don't see any
Everything's
problems.
gonna be fine. It's fine.
It'll be fine. Okay, great. Let's draw cards. All right. So, draw a card. Any card. And boom. Okay. Wow. Okay. So black cards again. We can put them in our hand and then describe how you want to believe in the other. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, aside from the obsessive need to keep repairing the captain, like, for any little thing whatsoever, I think, again, I think, Max is wondrous. Again, it's just able to do these things with the organ creation. And then also with the like, being a medic. Always useful, duh. But I think Talkai has always valued Max, regardless, and again wants to bring this team back together and wants to make it work, because it must have worked back then, and now he needs them back to turn this enemy around again. So, yeah, problems never.
I think Max wants to believe in the captain because Max doesn't really have a sense of self, but when he looks into the captain's eyes and sees how much faith the captain has in him and how much the captain seems to believe that he is unique and precious. He can't see the same thing that the captain does yet. He desperately wants to. So in a way, his desire to believe in the captain is also a desire to see himself as something other than a servant.
And recruiting the Steadfast. Will you reward my loyalty with doubt? This recruitment montage introduces the Steadfast into the story and explores what motivates them to return to the crew. This takes place in the home that kept the captain safe all these years. Both the captain and the steadfast briefly describe the home, a sentence or two each.
Yeah. I've been watching like Xianxia dramas. So I like to imagine that this is like a very um I think this is Mori's home planet that we have returned to. And I think this is where like star energy is extracted for spaceships and stuff like that. Like that's a very big business here. So I think it's like everything is sort of like floaty. There's clouds. It's always like not always, but it's like I think the color of dawn, like like bluish, light purples. There's like like that beautiful like galaxy coloring. And like all around us, like stars just twinkling. And I think like our home is like it's like kind of like its own like floaty pavilion like thing, with like trees that are also sparkling. And there's just like a very gentle like those National Geographic where they like, do like a time shift of the night sky. Like I feel like that's sort of like the backdrop, but it's like
Mm.
very, very gentle. It's like almost like child night lamp kind of vibes,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Yeah, I think, going with that, I think it just smells so incredibly fresh and clear. Like the time shift, like is so gentle. It's like a breeze that just continually happens, always refreshing itself. And the feel in the skin is just something that is mild and temperate all the time. Even as this star energy is extracted, there's like this pleasant hum that happens, and you can always feel it like thrumming underneath the skin, but it's not disruptive. It's not uncomfortable. It's just something that you just know happens on this planet. And I think that's kind of like our backdrop of like where we live. So, what mundane chore do I interrupt? And what have I done to make you suspicious?
Mm. Yeah, I think are we cool? Do we like moths and insects, or is that like
Oh
something
yeah,
that we Okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to think that there is that they're like starflies, they're called, and they're like just I think like these like ridiculously cute like fluffy moths, and they have like wings that kind of flutter, and I think they eat like whatever is like the waste product of these stars, or like they themselves produce something. And I think Mori figured out, and of course feel free to stop me here, but I think Mori figured out that you absolutely adore these little creatures, but given that you're like haunted and all of that, I think maybe you like never said this, but she like caught you looking at them a few times. So I think they've taken to feeding them around the time you come home. And like they haven't told you this, right? But like you probably think like this is something that she just does like a few times a day, but she like always times it when she can feel, or like when there's like a beep on the monitor or whatever when you're coming home. So I think she is like just surrounded by these like cute little critters that are like floating around. I'm like standing up, like kind of Disney princess style, like,
It
like
is the
feeding them.
most
Yeah.
adorable thing that he has ever seen. And it is an amazing picture, of course.
Yeah. And I think the fact, I think you do that thing where you sort of like brood in the doorway for a few minutes whenever you come home, like you're doing that that like
Ugh.
Batman thing where you're just sort
Mm,
of blooming and standing there, and I
sure.
always pretend I don't see you, right? Like I'm just feeding these little critters and you're just watching me, and we're like both so oblivious to what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Just a normal act, a normal day. But I think today you don't. I think you don't stand in the doorway. You don't watch me. I think you approach me like almost immediately, and that has like
Alarm
all of the
bells.
sirens in my brains going
Yeah.
off.
Oopsie. Yeah.
Yeah, and I ask you, how am I different from when we first met?
I think he cocks his head to the side and looks at you. I think he actually sees and appreciates your form, like your litheness and your, I guess, grace. I mean, it's not different necessarily, it's just something that the perception is different, the perspective is different. And that's what he's noticing. And what does he love about you most in this moment is just your the picture you make. It's just so beautiful and perfect. It's, I guess, something that aligns with something in his head of how he's seen you. And for some reason, it just kind of snaps into place. It's like something that, like, he's kind of taken for granted for quite some
Mm.
time. And it's just like, oh my God, like, now I've noticed.
Right, because it's about to stop, because we're about to go back into the ship and everything, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, because this is like domestic bliss or whatever, like that he like hadn't noticed for years. And it's like now it's going to stop. So, yeah. So,
The captain chooses what happens first.
okay. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Our home is filled with beautiful things that reflect my care for you. And what dumbass thing do I do?
Um, and I think, and this would be accidental, but I think I unearthed something painful to force you to see the truth. I think we see, like all of these starflies are sort of skittering because I think you moved like too purposeful and quickly, and they're sort of like scattering into the air. And I'm like watching them go. Mori doesn't seem like disturbed by it. They've kind of done their purpose and they'll be back tomorrow. But I think there is sort of, I look at you and I see you standing there. I'll just say, so you've decided then.
Decided what?
I put down like the food, whatever it is that they were eating. And I look around his house and I think it's like always it's like a smallish house, but it's like cozy and always like well taken care of, right? And I think I'll look around and say that this isn't where you want to be.
Why would you say that? I mean, this is wonderful. You, you've done such a wonderful job in making this beautiful. This is absolutely wonderful, and look at this. And then, he pulls up something that he reminds you of a memory that, you spent together, and then pulls up another thing that just looks
Mhm.
beautiful and terrific, and again another memory that
Yeah.
is
And
wonderful.
I'm giving you this patient smile, but I'm like shaking my head. Like, like that very patient, like you're stalling. Um, when I look up into the night sky, these stars gently wafting by, a last creature fluttering says, "It's beautiful, but that's not what I asked." You know, no, you believe, and you believe belong there. I look up at the stars.
They're back. We have to be up there to fix it. They're going to be targeting us soon, and we have to meet them. We have to stop them. I've already started bringing the crew back, and I hope that
And
means you too.
and I think at that, it's subtle but immediate. Like Mori will look, like do like sort of a double take, a glance at you and then back up at the stars. Says, "You already got the rest of the crew."
Started. Yes.
Harmony, Max.
He just nods.
There's a long moment of silence that stretches out where Mori thinks of how they were in this house, preparing it for you, and you were out alone. Your first instinct, alone. And she doesn't say it. And she simply says, "Did they agree?"
Yes. They did.
And let me see what happens next. I think it would be very fun if I don't pick the option where we touch.
Yeah,
I think that would be
different. Be different.
I think that's the absolute worst thing I can do, so I'm not picking that option.
Whatever. This is all our
Um,
game. Fine.
I I think in this moment where like sort of I think that lingers between us that you went off alone, that you told me after the fact. I will remind you of a promise you once made to me when we were young and brave. And I think, given that I have like the seductive trait, I almost like to think that I was like, we have like the star extraction stuff, but maybe because I don't want to be like, like pigeonhole a whole planets and like they have this one little gimmick and that's what everyone does, right? So I think that there might also be like, like Inara in Firefly, who was like this very like high escort lady. Like I like to think maybe that's what this planet has to, and Mori was one of those people. Maybe less like why she got originally hired would be very funny. Um, and I think maybe in a moment of weakness, she once found you, and she made you promise that when necessary, you would let someone take care of you. And I don't think that she like says any of this, right? But I think that you know the weight of her silence, of what you've done by doing this alone and then coming to her after.
And I don't like any of the choices, but okay.
Oh, that's I can pick another one if
No, no,
you
no,
if
no,
you
no.
don't.
When I say
Yeah.
I don't like any of the choices, it means like me, I hate making the choice. Okay.
Right, okay, okay.
I like the middle one, but I'm not clever enough to think of what that is. At least not at the moment.
Um,
I remind you of a different promise you made to me. Broken and discarded.
I mean, I feel like maybe there could be a guilt that you carry because maybe I once promised you, you know, like, oh, when this is over, I'm gonna go back to my planet, and you know, maybe I was on track to have like a very high career or something, and I promised you that I would go do that when this is over, except, you know, I clearly didn't because I stayed with you, and I'm here, and you know that like you don't even have to ask, I'm gonna follow you again, right? So maybe it's something like that. Or it could be if you want to be like, yeah, it's fully took a space jam life. Um, or it could be, I don't know, if we want to be meaner, it could be something that you kind of like throw in my face. To be like, you don't get to be mad at me because
Like I said, I mean, like it's just something that yeah. Yeah, he didn't loom before in Brood, but not like now he is.
Mhm.
He's gonna be like, you don't say, but you're speaking with your eyes, and I know what you're trying to tell me. But may I remind you of what you promised me so very long ago. And that promise lays at your feet, very much broken. And he stares at you with his eyes. So,
I think they look away and I say, well, then maybe that's all a promise is. Just a future lie.
if that's the case, do we agree not to anymore? And can I ask you, will you come with me, come with us once more up
I
there?
think she will like hold up her hand and she says, do not make me suffer through the insult of having to hear a question that you know the answer for. Shall I leave your side now? After all these years, shall this be the moment? I
I just
am
look,
not them. I do not need to be convinced.
he just looks at you. There's that smile that's hiding what he's thinking. Yee. Uh, what will cost me your loyalty?
I think we've set it up quite nicely. I think it is making them feel like they're just another member of the crew. Like, I feel like Mori feels like they've earned special treatment in that sense, where it's maybe more like a friend than like a crew member.
Right.
And I think reminding her of that dynamic, that you are the captain and she is like someone on this ship of like equal worth, and you ask her to follow you, and you throw broken promises at her face. I think that will make her realize like, oh, it didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Um, and I ask you, why am I not enough for you?
Oh, man. Because he's a driven, haunted bastard that just. Uh. Yeah. Right now it's the mission. He's not. He's not thinking about it being personal. It really isn't. It's just. It's just like, what will it take to try to, I guess, what he thinks will resolve the problem. And you can't do it all. You can't be the entire crew to solve the problem. He needs everyone. And that's why you're not enough. Damn. Oh my god, this chat. Jesus. Okay, draw a card. We're gonna pay for all these black cards, I'm telling you.
Yeah, this is insane. I'm scared.
Oh no, I'm very scared now. We're gonna be paying for these black cards
I'm
later
scared
on.
for real.
I am very scared for real. This
This is the
never
universe
happens.
making up for when I ran a one shot and we had like so many red cards. It was insane.
Yeah, yeah. We usually see a lot more than this, so I am fearing for our lives, literally. This is gonna be bad. Okay, so anyway, yeah, black, loyalties regained. The crew member keeps the card in their hand. Describe what they want to believe in the other. Why they want to believe in the other. Sorry. So,
This card I can't give to someone else, right? Not that
no,
I would, but okay.
no. Because this is the
Yeah.
recruitment montage, so yeah, so like why
That
you
makes
want to
sense.
believe in me. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just very simple. Like, as I said, like, it would make no sense for this to be the moment. I'm like, actually, hasta la vista. Like, like I have stuck by you the whole time. And I think Mori has always known that like, I think she's always known that you were, or you wanted to be the captain, and that there was always going to be a moment where you were going to throw yourself back in and, do it all again. Like, I don't think this is a surprise necessarily. Maybe it's like oh, like it's today, like that kind of surprise, but it's not really something that is unexpected. And you clearly still need me. You clearly need someone to take care of you at
Oh, sure.
points, especially now you're going to be taking care of Harmony and Max. So like you need me.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. And yeah, he's a hot mess. So I mean, it's like for sure. And that's why he wants to believe in Mori, because I mean, he knows that he had that shining moment where he saw you. He did see you for that person that was with him for those years. And he did appreciate that, for that shining moment, jackass. Um, but yeah, I mean, he wants to believe that having her along yet again will be integral to making this crew a success again, because he needs them all. And he believes that without her, again, like the others, this won't work. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. Again, this chat is just blowing up. All right, great. So, all right, that is everyone recruited. Yay. Oh boy. Okay. So, yeah, vignettes are only if we, like, we're doing this quickly, like, or we're having less than extended play. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let's see. And that's it. Okay. So I don't want to keep, especially Jazy, up too long. So let's go ahead and close out of this particular session, and then we'll decide, like offline, like maybe what the next couple of mini games will be, like that we want to, like, think about playing. Either um, like either as a group, like, the next one would be probably one of the training montages or something like that, or like, if we want to see particular scenes between certain characters. Okay. But we'll do stars and wishes right now. Okay. So yeah, you know how this goes. Like, stars are things that you appreciated about the session, the gameplay, role play each other, and yeah, wishes are what you'd like to see for the future or next time. So go for it.
I can start. Stars for Kevin for immediately nailing the tone. That was incredible. Just right out of like really kicking the door. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, we gotta star the fake makeout scene, or like the real makeout, but for fake reasons, whatever. Um, that's very, very great to start with. Incredible. And just right off the bat, I thought the chemistry between Harmony and the captain was really, really interesting. Um, yeah, for Elle, I loved the like such a cool character introduction for Max to be like working on themselves, like symbolically and like visually and just like everything. Like it's just a really cool setup where it's like alien but hopeful and like symbolically interesting. And I love how that like developed to the progenitor being like, "Hey, come with me," and the captain be like, "No, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you," which is wild scene. That was really cool. Um, and for Mets, yeah, I think you did really good, like bringing the captain and having like a different vibe in all these scenes, and it felt like you already like a very good grip on who the captain was, which can be like having played the captain, it can be pretty hard because you don't want to be like overpowering in the scenes because you want to give like other people the chance, but you want to give them enough to play off of. Um, and yeah, I like that you're sort of doing I don't know, I like that this crew is like very like, "Oh, Captain, you're here to save me." That was like in both Max and Harmony, like them immediately being like, "Ah, Captain, you're here," and then Mori kind of being like the opposite of that. I thought that was fun. Um, yeah, wishes. Yeah, I want to see Mori and Max and how they differ on how to take care of the captain, because we both sort of have these themes in our playbook, but from these scenes, like I already feel like they have very different ideas of like what that means. Um, yeah, I feel like Mori is almost playing more like you don't have to be the captain, you have to be like Talkai, like you have to be a good person and not just a captain. Or like that's at least what I'm hoping to kind of bring to differentiate here a little bit. Because I have spent time with you in your non-captain role, opposed to all the others who've only like known you as the captain. Um, so I think that could be a fun angle to sort of explore, like what does that mean having known this person in such a different role? And I think like that would be interesting with Max. And yeah, with Mori and Harmony, I think there is an interesting connection there with the enemy potentially, although Harmony may not know that, or maybe she does. Maybe she knows that one of them is Mori's son, and is super normal about that. I'm assuming. So yeah, I mean, standard wish, I guess. I want to see other pairings interact and see what happens. Um, and I kind of want some red cards. I want to see the enemy grow a little bit. I'm just gonna jinx it. I want it. Bring the drama. And you know what? Also, star to myself. because my brain was still functioning at nearly 4 a.m. And I made words and they made sense.
Yeah, big start at caffeine. It's fantastic. But yeah, start to you, Jesse, for staying up late for this game. I kind of have like overall stars, and then I'll try and distill them back into specifics. But joking about the Mass Effect and the harem run, it is interesting that there is chemistry between the captain and these three different characters, but it's very different takes on attraction, romance, things like that. You have the spicier take with Harmony, the more earnest take with Max, and then this sort of like guttered out reflame between the captain and Mori, and it's just we're creating a very faceted character with all these different relationships that is very fun to explore, and I can't wait to explore more of that. But yeah, so stars to everyone for just kind of not all hitting the same exact note, and in fact going in very different places, in two very different places. um so yeah, it's going to be a bit of a easy cop out wish for me to be like, yeah, I want to see scenes with Harmony and Mori, Harmony and Max and Mori. But that's, I feel like, always in the cards anyways, mind the pun. um so um but yeah, individual moments, the Max's hand on the hip with the captain was juicy. And with Mori, I really like the detail about the really starflies, the little yeah, and also just like the vision of like harnessing star energy, just like putting us straight into high sci-fi. I love it. Fantastic, just world building right out the gates. um and I just love playing with all you guys because it's fantastic to just put brains together and see what comes out the far end. Wishes. Harmony is a progenitor, and so I'm learning about the character as we learn more about the enemy. And I love the sort of like blank the blank corners of this character that I still have yet to discover, on top of like her betrayal, why she turned her back on the enemy. And I can't wait to find those answers, and I feel like they're just looking over some of these mini games, I feel like I'll find them in there, so can't wait to find out more about that. um and my spicy wish, I think the sizzler reel from Match Island has like really ruined my brain, because I'm like, would it be fun for a Cabadon? Somebody's got to go up against a wall like at some point, like it's got to happen. So that's my wish, is somebody putting somebody else up against the wall, or a Cabadon, either way. um but yeah, that's my go. That's me.
I'm gonna go next. I'll be brief because I know we want to get Jazy to bed. Um, for my stars, yeah, I just want to call out a couple of quotes that I really liked. In Harmony's scene, I loved when she said, "Captain, make me believe it." So that was great. And in Maury's scene, "A promise is just a future lie." That was a great one. Um, and this is like partially a star and partially a wish, I guess. I really enjoyed, Mad, seeing how your captain sort of navigates these different relationships he has. Um, he seems very self-assured isn't quite the word I'm looking for, but like self-defined, I guess. Like he's the same person wherever he goes, which is interesting. Um, and I guess related to that, I'm interested in seeing how this this idea of him being demanding, which is one of his traits, comes out. Because I think we've seen in some ways the other character is making like strong emotional demands of the captain, and of course the captain is like coming to them with this big ask of joining the crew again to save the galaxy. But I'm really, really curious what the captain wants from these relationships, like what he's going to demand from us. um yeah, I think those are basically my stars and wishes. Yeah, fun session.
Oh man. Yeah, to keep it brief, I mean like, stars overall, I mean like every single scene that um, you know, I was either in or like, um just trying to be outside of but yet also watching. It was just like catching all the vibes. I was trying to call and respond, like paying attention to like what the prompts were doing, but also again, like, just trying to you know, uh, uh, really listen and engage with your characters because each one of them was unique and interesting to respond to. So stars for each one of them. I mean, like the vibes were different. I mean, like besides the world building, I mean, like the way each of the characters were interacting within that particular scene, within that particular world, and also with the captain. I mean, it was just, it was almost like being in little mini movies, like for each of the scenes. So that was really an awesome experience to play off of. Um, and yeah, I mean, like I'm always enjoying role playing with each and every one of you. So this is great. I mean, like Jazzy, I can appreciate your dedication to wanting to stay up and play this. So yes, and I really needed this game. Like I was saying, I mean, like long day at work and catching all these vibes and really enjoying this game and loving all of you for for playing this with me again. Thank you. I mean, I had a lot of fun doing this. So stars overall, and this was great. So, not that I'm saying like, do homework, but I mean, like, if you just want to take a look, see it again, and remind yourselves about what kind of mini games are on tap, like things that interest you, like, some possible mini games that you want to play for next time, um, you know, characters that you want to see in scenes together. Or we just do like one scene that has all of us together, and then like a one particular scene that concentrates on two or more characters together. There you go. What? I don't know who that is.
Sebastian Boone, MMA fighter.
Who is
It
that?
was it was a Deathmatch Island character,
Oh,
like
okay.
just like an NPC like
Oh,
introduced, but the whole chat for like no reason were like absolutely fucking feral. Like we hadn't even seen a picture or anything. We'd just gotten Sebastian Boone MMA fighter and everybody went fucking insane.
okay. Oh my God.
So
All
like
right.
now it's just a meme where occasionally we'll just be like Sebastian
Oh,
Boone MMA fighter.
okay.
We knew nothing and we were all like, this gotta be the hottest dude on the whole planet.
Oh, okay. All right. Great.
Yeah. Um, an actual like an actionable wish that I do want to add before I forget.
Mhm.
Sort of mentioning world building, the way that I've usually played this, it's like very, very character driven, which like I
Yeah.
love, but I would love to see a take where, we do maybe go to like some of these planets and have, like starflies and star energy and
Mhm.
maybe like some other weird labs, especially because we have like the progenitors and these broken
Sure.
timelines. So I would love like a little bit more world building-y take, I
I'm
guess,
okay
and
with
then
this.
see, yeah, what that
Yeah.
looks like.
Because it's like, when I played it last, which was like very recently, I mean, like I even had like some like transition scenes where it's like it didn't have anything to do with the mini game, but it needed to happen because it was moving us from one mini game into another because
Hmm.
of the way our characters came out of one particular mini game. So yeah, we definitely needed the transition stuff. So I get it. Like if we need to do like a little bit of world building to get us from one jaunt to the next, that's perfectly fine. You know. So yeah, I'm up for it for sure. Um, God, to squish like a lot of things into 4 sessions which one of them is down. So now we only have three. God damn it. All right. Anywho, yeah, you guys have a wonderful week, and yeah, see you next time for this. God, I love this game. All right, I believe in
Off
us.
to sleep.
Absolutely. See
Good
ya.
night.
Good night.
Night,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.